The first time Madison cried when we were alone, I thought maybe she was just shy, overwhelmed by the sudden shift in her world. I was a new guy, barely 3 months into dating her mother before marriage made me her stepdad. I figured the tears were part of the adjustment, but they didn't stop. They became a quiet ritual. We'd be building Legos or sitting through a Disney movie, and out of nowhere, she'd curl in on herself, arms wrapped tight around her knees, silent tears sliding down her cheeks. I'd ask, as gently as I could, "What's wrong, sweetheart?" But she'd only shake her head, never speaking. When I brought up to Erica, my wife, she laughed. She's just slow to warm up. Don't worry, she's always been sensitive. You're overthinking it. I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe her. We met at a volunteer cleanup event of all places. Erica in paint-streaked jeans, effortlessly magnetic, her laughter drawing people in like sunlight. She told me she was done with games. "I want something real," she said over a glass of red wine. Madison already asleep upstairs. She was strong, driven, a single mother rebuilding her life. I admired that. I fell hard. I'd never been married, never had kids. But something about the way she spoke about starting over made me want to be part of that foundation. Within weeks, I was spending nights at her place. Within months, we were standing in front of a courthouse judge exchanging vows. It was small, no guests, no photographer, just us and Madison as our flower girl, her tiny hand gripping Erica's like it was the only steady thing in the world. I tried to be a good presence in that child's life. I read parenting blogs, bookmarked articles, bought picture books and building sets, did voices during bedtime stories. But Madison wouldn't let me in. She never called me Dad. I didn't expect her to. What hurt more was that she wouldn't even look at me when we were alone, wouldn't speak, wouldn't smile, and always the tears. 2 months in, Erica brought up over dinner. "We should add your name to the house," she said, like it was no bigger deal than picking out a paint color. "You're helping pay the mortgage now. And if something ever happened to me, it should go to you and Madison." It sounded reasonable on the surface, practical, just like her. But something twisted in my gut. I'd been pitching in, yes, paying half the bills. But I hadn't met a single member of her family. Her friends stayed distant, polite, and cold. It felt like I was building a house without ever seeing the blueprints. Still, I told her I'd think about it. That same week, I was sorting laundry when I found a crumpled slip of paper in the pocket of Madison's jeans. It read, "Asterisk, don't tell him. He won't believe you. Nobody ever does." Asterisk. It lodged in my chest like a thorn. Then came the voicemail. Erica was out late. Madison asleep upstairs. I was tidying up when her phone buzzed on the counter. I never snooped. But something about that night made me glance. The message played before I could stop it. A man's voice. Saw the pics. "You're really doing it." Huh? Poor guy doesn't know what he's in for. Anyway, send more when you can. I didn't sleep that night. When I confronted Erica the next morning, she didn't deny it. Didn't flinch. Just stared at me, ice in her eyes, and said, "You think you're the first guy I've had to train Madison to accept?" That word. Train. I couldn't breathe. She didn't stop there. She's just a tool to get what we need. You either play your part or leave. But don't think for a second you're taking her with you. I didn't scream. I didn't threaten. I started planning. I quietly called a lawyer. Stopped transferring mortgage payments. I told Erica I needed space. Encouraged her to take that business trip she kept postponing. She booked a 3-day trip out of state. That was all I needed. On day 2, Madison approached me while I was making breakfast. Her hands trembled as she reached into her backpack. "Daddy," she whispered, "look at this." She handed me a small, worn notebook. It was filled with drawings, childlike but jarring. Stick figures locked in cages. Faces with tears and red marks. Crayons dug deep into the paper. One page said, asterisk, "Mom says I have to smile or we don't get money." Asterisk another, asterisk, "He smells like the other one." Asterisk, I felt my blood go cold. I knelt down, eyes level. "Did someone hurt you?" Madison looked at me and whispered, Mom says it's pretend, but it doesn't feel like pretend. I called 911. CPS arrived within the hour. I handed over the notebook. They documented everything, took statements, took photos. I watched Madison get into the back of a government sedan, a child who had never cried out loud but had been screaming silently for who knows how long. Erica was arrested the moment her plane landed. Turned out this wasn't her first time. 2 prior investigations in different states, different names, different stories. Always just enough doubt to let her slip away. They placed Madison in protective custody. I wasn't allowed to see her, not immediately. I left voicemails with the caseworker, wrote letters. A week later, I got something in the mail, a crayon drawing, me and Madison, holding hands in front of a small blue house. No cages, no red scribbles, just a pink heart in the corner. Last month, they let me see her, supervised for now. She ran to me and wrapped herself around my legs like she'd been holding her breath until that very moment. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know how long the road to custody will be. But I know this. I wasn't her first stepdad. But I swear I will be her last. Please subscribe, and share. Someone else might need to hear this.